I mean, I was told by my film professor, there are films and there are movies, and sometimes you've got to know what you're walking into.
Yeah. See, but I come from a time when movies were films.
Have you ever had the Bojangles chicken sandwich before? I've never had it myself. I tried it today. I had a little free reward, and I had it today for lunch. It was decent. The most of the time when I'm having a chicken sandwich, it's like, Chick-fil-A. That one's pretty good. The Popeyes chicken sandwich is very iconic when it first dropped. But the Bojangles one, I had it today. It was all right. It was decent. The Bojangles, like the breading and like the milk wash, it's kind of spicy. It has like a spicier taste to it. That's just like overall throughout their whole lineup of everything. I had their tenders a while ago, and it has that same kind of spicy kick with everything, which I really wasn't really a fan of. It tastes kind of bad, but still the sandwich, it's solid. The bread is super soft. The mayonnaise is pretty cool. So I had that today for lunch, and then when I had it for lunch, I was like, okay, that was a pretty fire chicken sandwich. Let's just go ahead and get this Superman 4 episode out of the way. You hear what I just said there? I said, let's get this episode out of the way. That shouldn't be something that you say when you go to watch a movie or when you go to record a podcast episode like me. Or even in this case with a Superman movie or Superman episode, I shouldn't have to be saying I want to get this one out of the way. But in today's episode, I'm talking about Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. And it is one that I have to just get out of the way because it wasn't a good movie. I do still love the title of this film, though. The Quest for Peace. The Quest for Peace is a beautiful title. That is so iconic and so cool. But still, the film that follows that title is not good or fun in any kind of way. And the reason we're doing this entire podcast series, as you know, is because of the new film Superman 4 from not Superman 4. It's Superman from James Gunn. And that one's going to be fire. Coming out in July. I'm very excited for it. That's definitely, I think, right now, it's like, for the year, it's top 2 for when it comes to my most anticipated movies. Number 2 right now might be Fantastic Four. That movie is going to be so good. I really think so. It's the movie that's going to be right before Avengers Doomsday. At least, well, no, it got delayed back. So now it's going to be Fantastic Four, and then it's going to be Spider-Man. As long as that doesn't get delayed in any way, it's going to be Fantastic Four this year. Next year is going to be in summer, Spider-Man 4. If nothing gets delayed, it'll be that, and then Doomsday in December. So we, it's weird, but whatever. We'll see what happens. But still, regardless, it's going to be a very crazy time next year. But this year is still pretty crazy right now with Superman. Then next year's also going to be Wonder Woman. So it's going to be a lot of cool stuff we're going into here. But still, Superman coming on July, next month, I guess, or it's a little bit over a month now. And it's my first time watching Superman 4, Quest for Peace. Never seen it before in my entire life. And I am not mad that I didn't, because this movie isn't good. It's actually the worst out of these 4 films from Christopher Reeves, and I'm upset about that really a lot. It makes me very disappointed to even say that, but, it is what it is. Going into stats here for the movie, this film does have a box office of $30.28 million against a budget of $17 million, which is very bad. That's very bad numbers for this movie. Just looking at the history of the franchise, that is not good at all. I mean, I'm not sure if that's even right. It sounds so bad to be that, but it is. I'm not sure what the circumstances were, but still, that's just not good numbers at all. I'm not a finance bro. I'm not Jordan Belfort, but still, that is a very massive whiff on Warner Brothers' part here. Then going into Rotten Tomatoes, this film does have a 10% critic score and a 16% audience score. Dare I say too high for this movie? That is way too high. For a 10%, 16%, should be lower than that. Usually, when I go into reviews, I have a review from Roger Ebert, and he didn't review this movie at all. That is nowhere to be found on the internet in any kind of way, shape, or form. There's no review from Roger Ebert for Superman 4. Can't blame him. Why am I here doing a review? I have no idea. Over on Letterboxd, we do have a 1.7 out of 5 average. Definitely, I think, also too high for this movie. We do have one review here from Gurum, is what we're going to call it. Gurum is their username, and they gave the film a 2.5 out of 5. And in the review here, they said that I think the ingredients of a good movie are there, because the premise is actually interesting and actually very thoughtful. I think the movie could have been great if they had a proper budget and if they switched out Nuclear Man for Bizarro. And I definitely do agree there wholeheartedly. Really, the message and premise and the goal for the movie is sincere. It's actually very thoughtful and interesting. And really, the quest for peace, him trying to destroy all nuclear weapons, is on paper a good movie. But somehow they fumble the bag horrendously, making this the worst Superman movie that I've seen in my entire life, at least until I watch Superman Returns, which is happening next week, and I am very scared for that one too. I'll be going into that one next week, which I really don't want to, but here we are. But still, that's enough of my prologue yap out of the way. Let's just go ahead and start diving into the meat and potatoes here. Get out of this one quick here because I really don't even want to talk about this abysmal piece of work. Alright, so starting off here with this episode, just going right into it here with the movie. Just really off rip. I hate to even just start off rip in the very opening of the movie. There's already something wrong with the film. The opening title crawl sucks. I mean, it just looks off. It looks very bad. The opening credits, they don't look good. I mean, you can just go and watch it for yourself on YouTube if you want, but still, the opening title crawl does not look good. I mean, that off rip, it looks weird, it looks off, the font looks bad. Looking at the previous films to this one, it looks just worse somehow. I'm not sure how you just mess up this bad on purely a title crawl. That is weird. But next off, what I do like is that Superman saving people in space is cool. We don't see that much across media. And then Superman also speaking German. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess it's okay. It's cool, I guess. I didn't really think he couldn't, but didn't think he could speak German either. It's, whatever. I guess so. It's like if you find out that one of your friends who's super average, a very cool guy, but just a very average dude, has an MX Black card. An MX Black Titanium card is just in his wallet. He's like, oh no, I got it. I can pay for the Chili's dinner. Boom. Slaps on the table. An MX Black Titanium card erupts the entire table. You're like, how can you be able to get this kind of card with this kind of credit? Who are you even to have this MX Black card? I feel like I don't even know you. I mean, you can, but, it's a little weird. That's how I felt when Superman spoke German. It was like, oh, okay, sure, why not? And I also like how this movie, it is a send-off. I'm not sure, maybe behind the scenes, did Reeve know this was going to be his last movie? Did he know this was going to be the send-off for the character? Was it what he wanted it to be? Definitely not. But him going back to Kansas and then, seeing him go back to his home in this movie, his final film, we hadn't gotten that since the first film, him being back in Kansas. It did feel sad to me, maybe knowing that after this film, he's never going to be in the role again besides The Flash, which we don't talk about at all. But still, seeing that happen in this film, it made me a little bit emotional, I'm not going to lie. Also, seeing that Gene Hackman is back as well is so refreshing. I definitely felt the vacancy of him in that third movie. Seeing him back here again, it's great to see. And also, once again, I think that the conflict and the message and overall arching story with this movie, it has great moments in it. I mean, seeing the conflict of this film is that Superman is seeing a nuclear war about to happen, and he wants to go out and stop that. He feels a burden with being Superman to go out and destroy all nuclear weapons because they can destroy mankind, which he loves so dearly. That on paper should be the perfect Superman movie with a perfect conflict, a perfect set of structure, yet somehow they fumbled the bag, and I'm trying to figure out why did they fumble the bag horrendously with a beautiful story like this. Even when it comes to him going back to the Force of Solitude to get guidance from older members of the Kryptonian Council and seeing them all in his past and in the Kryptonian past telling him not to do it, but still him being a Kryptonian, seeing the fall of Krypton, him not wanting that to happen to Earth, and him still going against what they said, that really should be a 10 out of 10 script. But somehow, where did this film fail? Well, maybe with the VFX being somehow the worst in this entire franchise. This film being the newest out of all four of these movies, yet somehow the VFX just look horrible. I mean, I understand this film came out a very long time ago, but still, the VFX, the green screen, it looks the worst it's ever been for this whole entire franchise, which is very, I think, impressive for sure. But maybe it's not even the VFX being awful. Maybe it's just the story and the screenplay and it having very dumb and questionable and confusing moments, like how, for some reason, I don't even really understand why, Superman making the decision to reveal his identity to Lois again, then also kissing her to wipe her memory again, is just dumb. I don't understand this whole entire concept. Maybe, like I said, I don't read comics at all. Maybe that's something that happened in the comics at some point, which they took inspiration from. him doing that just to have a quick conversation with her about this whole nuclear bomb situation, just to wipe her memory again with a kiss, is weird. It feels so off to me. I don't like that really one bit at all. I think at this point, if you're going to do it again, at least at this point, just commit to the relationship happening and being a thing. That makes the most sense at this point. And also, with this whole entire memory wipe kiss thing that he can do, Superman, I guess, clearly has this power to just kiss someone on the lips, and then memory is wiped, forgotten. They don't know him at all. They forgot everything, at least from the past, few months or whatever. Who knows? So, at this point, why don't we just, Superman, you can do that, right? Have a memory wiping amnesia kiss. Why don't you go and kiss Lex Luthor? Do that for me. Kiss Lex Luthor, kiss Meteor Man, or Atomic Guy, whatever his name was. Kiss all of your villains on the mouth to give them amnesia and make them forget everything and make them a completely new person. Just do that for me. I mean, really, why not? Who's stopping you from doing it at this point? Are you saying that because you're a straight man, you can't do that to another guy? And then the reason is, why is that, per se? What if he was gay and then he could do it to all his villains? You see what I mean? You see how dumb, easily how dumb this concept can become merely if we just start to think about it. Let's think about it, nitpick a little bit longer. I mean, really, the lore and the concept behind all this is just so dumb. I don't like it at all. And then let's say, for example, also, what if, okay, sure, you have to love this person to really want to give them a kiss and do the whole memory wipe thing. What if he doesn't really love Lois Lane? Then what? She knows his identity now, and now what? She's gonna die. It's like, you know what? It's so dumb. The whole amnesia kiss thing, it's stupid. I'm not a fan of it. Haven't been at all. If that happens again in the new movie, I'm gonna leave immediately out of the theater. I'm not even lying to you. But besides VFX and the script and a lot of other things being just not good at all, I will have to admit that I think that overall, the production quality, the camera work and everything, I can see that clearly. Filmmaking in Hollywood has evolved so much throughout this entire franchise. I mean, you can definitely tell just how much evolution has happened with just, the set design, the production, the cameras. Everything looks just like really a higher quality, which I think is a very cool thing to notice. Seeing the evolution of filmmaking in this whole entire film series has been a treat for sure. I'll give it that. A very small little compliment I'll give to this movie. And now already, this film is actually very short, and we're already almost done here with the episode, so I'll just go a little bit quicker here at this point. So, Superman goes to the press. He says, I'm going to rid the world of all nuclear weapons, and then he puts them in a very giant net and throws them into the sun, which I think maybe could have been a safer way of disposing of them, but, maybe I don't know anything at all. But, still, I'm not a scientist, never studied, nuclear physics or anything like that, but, I think that maybe a safer way could have been discussed, but, I mean, whatever. Throw it into the sun, that won't have any kind of effect on anything later down the line. We'll just assume, I guess. I don't know, whatever. And then he throws one of these bombs to the sun, and then that's when Nuclear Man is born and fully clothed. That's dumb, but, that's not the dumbest part of the film just yet. So, we're not done yet. I'm not done yet. So, Superman and Nuclear Man have this fight, and pretty much is the third act of the film already, which I think is very lame. The Nuclear Man fight is so lame. There's no kind of hearts or passion or drive or conflict between these two guys fighting. It's just like, rah, I'm evil. Okay, I'm Superman and I'm good. Let me just fight you and just get you out of here. That's really the entire fight, which really makes the entire thing feel weightless and it feels so hollow, having no heart or depth to it, which I definitely was yearning for with this fight in this movie. And Nuclear Man does defeat him, I guess, by scratching his neck and giving him some kind of cold or flu, which is very dumb. But still, the fight was so underwhelming. I think that it's okay to have a raw, I'm evil villain sometimes. I do love a lot. I love in Batman vs. Superman with the Doomsday and Superman. I haven't read the comic, but that's still a super cool comic and story to read. But still, I love that Doomsday is a raw, evil guy. And Doomsday has one goal, that's to kill Superman. And that is just, I think, so much more interesting, having that monster going his way and being unstoppable, and Superman being the one person who can kill him, and then him sacrificing himself to kill Doomsday is, I think, so much more interesting than this, and makes this just so much boring and just not really fun for me to watch. But the thing for me that made me not turn off the movie, but made me just really mentally check out, the thing that made me mentally check out of this film, I'll say it again, the thing that made me just check out of this entire franchise was when Nuclear Man wants a woman, which makes him go out and fight again to get that woman. He sees her picture in the newspaper and he wants to go out and fight. That's the only thing that drove him, was him seeing a woman in the newspaper. At that point, for me, I was mentally checked out. It feels like after the second film, the third and fourth, there's no respect in regard for what these movies meant and what the character meant. It felt like such a slap in the face for this villain. His drive and conflict is a woman. At that point for me, I was like, all right, that's it. We're done. I finished the movie. Once again, my whole entire rule when it comes to watching films is that you should never turn off a film early. But for me, I was like, all right, I'm mentally checked out. We're done. That's it. We're finished. There's nothing else I need to see. At this point, that is just the biggest slap in the face and disrespect for the character and for what this movie was supposed to be, that I am done. I am finished. That's it. We're done. And it makes me sad and disappointed to just watch this movie, this series, and seeing just how much love Reeves and everyone involved had for the character and for these movies, and seeing what they did to this is just a massive assassination of the amount of love and care, and seeing what love can mean when it comes to making movies and adapting a story, seeing what that meant in the first movie and even the second one to a degree. That second one had problems, but still, I enjoyed it a little bit. But seeing the third and the fourth, seeing what they did to these movies, it made me disappointed. That's the only way I can use disappointed. Not to Reeves, he deserved this by no means whatsoever. But still, overall, the movie and this entire franchise, it started off very good, but had a slow decline. Second one declined. Third and fourth, sharp decline after that. And I really don't want to talk about it anymore. The final score for this film, it's going to be an F. Not an F minus, but still, it's an F. I wouldn't watch it if I were you. If you already did, I'm sorry. But still, that's where I have to leave it off with this series. Unfortunately, that's where it is. A 1.5 out of 5 is where we leave it off at. The series started with a 4.5 out of 5. Thought it would keep going, but it did not. So essentially, that's it for this part of the series. We still have technically like 2 more films left. We have Superman Returns and then Man of Steel. But after Man of Steel, you have Batman vs. Superman, also Justice League. So technically, it's only 2 more Superman movies left. But still, we have those other 2, which are, Superman is included. So we got to throw them in here, I guess. And also, still, we have some awards to give out. Our superlatives are still going on. So I'll go through the superlatives very fast. And after that, we're done for the day.
You are a blowfish.
What? Lady, whatever you're selling, I ain't buying, yo.
Well, my name is Skylar White, yo.
I get a spot? Okay.
All right, so starting off here with the superlatives, it's a very fast one today. I do have some Superman stuff themed still, but it's a part of the series. I have to do it anyway, so here we go. Going on through it, my favorite, I guess, superest moment in Superman for the Quest for Peace, I'll say, is the scene of him having to be in 2 places at once as Clark and Superman. It's a cool touch. We see it a lot in movies and superhero films. They, definitely do it here and there also, but still, I thought it was a very cool touch. I enjoyed it. I definitely thought it was very cool. It was a fun moment. I'll give it to the film. It was a fun moment to have. I definitely appreciate it. And for my favorite quote of the movie, it might be my favorite quote of the entire franchise. This franchise might have the best quote in its worst movie. My favorite quote of this movie is, "Once more, we have surrendered the threat of war and found a fragile peace. I thought I could give you all the gift of freedom from war, but I was wrong. It's not mine to give. We're still a young planet. There are still galaxies out there, other civilizations for us to meet and learn from. What a brilliant future we could have. And there we will be finding peace. There will be peace when people in the world want it so badly that their governments will have no choice but to give it to them. I just wish you all could see the Earth the way I see it, because when you really look at it, it's just one world." I think truly that may be the best quote, maybe in all of Superman mythos, in my opinion. There's so many great ones, but that one, I think, sums up Superman's character in a beautiful, beautiful way. And really, once again, existing in this movie, it feels so weird to say it, but really, it's very beautiful. And finally, the last two things here are Buzz from the Backlot and MVP. What is Buzz from the Backlot? It's just film fun facts, and MVP really explains itself. So, what our Buzz from the Backlots are today is our first one. Christopher Reeve was publicly regretting his involvement in this movie. He wrote in his memoir, Superman 4 was a catastrophe from start to finish, that a failure was a huge blow to my career. Our second fun fact here is that Wes Craven was set to direct, but was replaced after creative differences with star Christopher Reeve. And our third and final fun fact here is that in Christopher Reeve's autobiography, Still Me, Reeve refers to Superman 4 in this one sentence. The less said about Superman 4, the better. That really sums up the entire movie, a catastrophe of pure chaos and creative differences, and a massive blow of meh, which I definitely am sad about. But for the MVP, I'll give it to Christopher Reeve. He's the only guy who can really take the award, and I can be really proud of him having it. So he's been on a four-peat in this series when it comes to the MVP. That's kind of obvious. It's like with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, it's like, here, just take it, award. He deserved it, though. He really deserved it, and thank you so much for him for being involved with this. It's so sad seeing him pass, and really something that really did leave a massive blow on the entire community of Superman, also just nerds like myself all around the world. I think it's sad seeing the way this franchise ended up, but still, I'm happy to go into the future, not only with this series, but still with James Gunn's Superman. I think they're going to do great stuff with it, so I'm really happy to go into. But still, next week we're going to Superman Returns. I haven't seen that film in over a decade. I had that movie on DVD when I was very young, and it's going to be a fun one to go through. I'm pretty excited for it, so we're going to see what happens very, very soon. But until then, obviously, stay swagged out, stay cool, watch more films, and as always, I'm Real Slogan, and I'll see you boys in the movies.